How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Battlegrounds Game Center. I'm Patrick, and today we're going to be taking a look at Arkham Horror, the role-playing game, the Hungering Abyss starter set. This is a new RPG from Edge Studios in the Arkham Horror universe from Fantasy Flight Games. I was really excited about this. I love Arkham Horror, the card game, all the board games. I'm a big Call of Cthulhu fan, so it was really cool to see a new RPG set in that universe. And what makes this one cool and unique is it has a new kind of dice mechanic with it, using D6s, called a dynamic pool system, or DPS, where every character is going to have like 6 dice, and that's how they spend actions. They roll in to try to do tests and so on. But this is a really complete package that has everything you need to start playing. We don't have the core rule book yet, which will be hopefully coming out very soon. But this kind of runs you through an introductory campaign for the GM as well as the players. So for $35, this is a really nice package. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside and then see if this is something you might be interested in. Okay, so I will try to avoid as many spoilers as I can, but there's a lot of components in here that kind of shows off what's going to be in the starter set. But something that I really liked about this, it has this little shape here, so it's a lot easier to pull out some of the components, like the books. But this is going to be the Hungering Abyss book, which when you look at it, it's going to have Welcome to Arkham Horror. It's going to talk about the themes and everything. It'll show you some of the components, or all the components that come in the set. And then as you continue on, it'll go right into Act 1. I believe there's 3 acts in this, and all the acts will kind of introduce new mechanics for the game. So as you play it with players, you're all kind of learn together. So I would highly recommend, though, as a GM, just reading through everything, obviously, knowing what's going to happen, all the mechanics that are going to appear, so you have all that knowledge before you even start. But I'm not going to show too much of this because this clearly has all the spoiler material in it. It's a very nice learn to play as you go. And then this also comes with 5 pre-generated characters that is important to the story. Now, this doesn't have a way to create custom characters yet. That'll be with the core book, of course. But if you want to just skip playing, you just give one of your players one of these and they're ready to go. And when you open it up, you'll have all the different stats here, what they need to roll in order to use those skills, stats. This is your dice pool. So everybody has the same health, 6, because all of your dice will go here, and as you take damage, you'll remove a die, you put a damage, and so on. And then you'll be able to like reset your damage to get injuries, and you can continue, you can keep playing, and once you get so many injuries, then you'll eventually die. But the system is very board gamey, and I kind of like that. I love RPG. There's so many different RPGs out there, and so many new and interesting ways to play. So something that's a little bit more board game oriented is kind of a cool idea for me, because it's just something that's easier to get to the table. But then you got your knacks here, which are kind of like your special abilities, any starter equipment that your character is going to have, and then you got a nice little quick reference on how the gameplay works, and then what happens when you level up, and so on. And then on the back, there's some information about your character and also the story that's going to happen in the book. And again, there are 5 different characters. They all have different information on them, different abilities, different knacks. This character actually has spells that you can use. Some of them even have like special components here for the adventure. So like this is a puzzle that you'll be able to attempt. Very nice handout. Really cool to see personalized handouts. Okay, now next we have the maps. So there are 3 map pages. They're double-sided, and you'll see, I'm not going to show them all, but you'll see that they have different locations on them with 1-inch squares, different locations on the back. So there are tokens that come in this that we're getting to that you can have for your characters and any monsters. So another way of making it a little bit board gamey that I really enjoy. All right, so then we got a bunch of tokens. So these are like your mind tokens for when you take mental damage, some miscellaneous tokens for like running out of ammo and so on. This big thing here is actually utilized in a puzzle. So there's actually a physical like sliding puzzle that you use. If you've ever played like Mansions of Madness, it's very similar to that. And then we have our punch-out tokens for all of the different characters, NPCs, creatures, and so on. And then we have a few more punch-outs here. So these are for those puzzle pieces. So they're different sides. And again, it's like a sliding puzzle. We've got some more handout pages. Go over a few things. Don't want to spoil anything. We'll have our GM screen, which is really nice to have. It's going to have your quick reference guide, injury tables, trauma tables, and stuff like that. So it makes the gameplay run just that much easier. So really good. Always nice to have one of those. And then we have a few extra things here. So we got cards, which are going to be used for like equipment, spells, and so on. There's even some more handouts in the back here. But yeah, this is very much like the board games, like Mansions of Madness or Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. It has that very similar look to it. So if you're a board gamer and you want to get into RPGs, this might actually be a really good start or kind of like a gateway into doing that. We have these two little boxes here, which comes with a bunch of dice. So these are just D6s. These are used for the DPS system. So you get some nice gray ones. These are your regular dice. And then you have different colored ones. These are green. So these are for your horror dice. So as you take like mental damage and stuff, you'll get dice replaced with these. And if you ever like roll a 1 on this, you'll start to take more mental damage. There isn't enough dice for absolutely everyone if you play like 5 players plus a GM plus all of like the NPCs. So you'll need a bunch of D6s, but this does have a good amount to get you started. We've got a few more handouts here. And then we have some NPC cards, which I really liked. We're not going to go through all of these, of course, because I don't want to spoil what's in here. But it'll have like the same stats as like a character. It'll have like their dice pool here for health and everything. Any abilities that they might have, equipment that they start with, and so on. And then, of course, the book will tell you how you're supposed to like run these characters, what their personalities are, and so on as a GM. But yeah, you have a bunch of different things, a bunch of different characters with monsters and such. So double-sided as well, and I have a few additional story beats. So again, I don't want to spoil too much in case you're going to play this as a player. If you're a GM, I mean, obviously go through all of this, figure it all out, read it all, understand all the different characters. But as a character, though, if you end up playing this as a character, I don't want to spoil too much. But yeah, so that is everything that comes in the Arkham Horror RPG Hungering Abyss starter set. We have these available in store now. I know that they were also released at Gen Con over the weekend, but we do have these available now, and I'm really excited. I don't know when the core set is actually coming out. I would imagine sometime this year, before the end of the year, probably in October or maybe September or something like that. But this is a really good starting point to start learning the system, and find a group of friends and just sit down for a few evenings and play the game. So if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Patrick at Battlegrounds Game Center. See you later.